I went in Miss Manson's bathroom and put all those letters in a trash can and set the shit on fire. I burned all of those letters because she did not want me there. She did not love me. Her boyfriend at the time beat her bad. Again, like hospitalized her. And I was terrified. Thank you for joining me under the beautiful banyan. This series is called Proof of Life, and this is episode 6. It's called Beliefs Surpass Truth, supportive or not. This is a story about what happened when a lie was louder than my truth, and I believed it. I have always been somebody who keeps letters and cards that other people give me. So for the most part, every card that I've ever received from somebody, every letter that anybody has ever written me my entire life, I have them. I keep them. I've got a chest just filled with cards and drawings from my kids and nieces and nephews. And like all those things are for me like little time capsules of love that were given to me. And of those letters and cards, some of them are super, super sacred to me. And of those that are super sacred to me are letters that my foster mother, Roxy, wrote me. And unlike a lot of the stories that we hear, my foster mother was amazing. Like super, super sweet. She was in her 60s when she got me. She was an older lady, so she had that wisdom. She was settled. She was super patient, taught me a lot. She said, when the sun goes down, kids should be in the bed. Can you imagine what time we went to bed in the winter? Yeah. So I kind of figured out like, oh, I know what to do so I can stay up later. We had this enclosed front porch. And so every night mama would roast her some peanuts in the oven and she would go sit on the front porch and just watch the cars go by. So I was like, this is a perfect time to talk about what happened at school today. So at night, in the winter especially, I would be like, Ma, I cannot talk to you about something. I want to tell you something happened or whatever the case may be. I would sit on that front porch with her, eat them roasted peanuts, and just talk about anything that I can think to talk about so I could stay up later. I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. All I knew was I was eating peanuts, everybody else was in the bed, and I was on the front porch. It wasn't until years later that I realized some of the values that I have came from on that front porch, eating peanuts, talking to Mama Roxy. And so all that to say, she was an amazing foster mother. I respected her and I loved her, and that came out in my conversation. I talked about her a lot. That was not to say that I had any less love or any less respect for my natural mother, because that was not the case. It was just not the case. But I don't think my mother thought that. I think because I spoke so highly of my foster mother, it made my mother feel like maybe I didn't see her the same way, or maybe it made her feel like she didn't have that place in my heart anymore, or maybe it was just a little bit of intimidation. I'm not sure what it was, and I've asked a lot, but I think that's where that came from. Is from me just speaking so highly of my foster mother. In 1987, I was living in Grand Rapids, Michigan with my mother. Her boyfriend at the time beat her bad. Again. This was a normal occurrence in the house. He was extremely, extremely abusive. And this particular incident, he beat her really, really bad, like hospitalized her. And I was terrified. Now, generally in these situations, and in this situation included, Val was always protecting me. She would tell me, like, get in the closet and get up under the bed. Like, she would direct me as to what to do in this particular situation based on what was happening, where we were, like all the things. And she did it this day. Once everything happened, Mama's in the hospital. We are at like her girlfriend's house who lived a couple blocks away. So the immediate danger is gone, but I'm still terrified. I called Mama Roxy. I told her I was scared and I wanted her to come get me. She sent my foster brother, who at the time was a Detroit police officer. She sent him to come get me. He made the 2-hour drive to Grand Rapids to come get me. I get back to the house on Van Dyke and I, expound on what happened, told her the whole thing. And like, I'm safe now. I feel safe. But I wasn't able to stay because my mother had already gotten her rights back. And by law, I was not a ward of the state anymore. My foster mother legally could not keep me in her house. And on top of that, because my foster mother is a foster care provider. She is a mandated reporter. Now, at the time, I'm a kid. I'm like not even 12 years old yet. I don't know any of this. All I know is I'm scared. I feel unsafe. I want to go back to where I've known safety to be, which was at that house on Van Dyke. And my foster mother did what she always did, was she sent for me, because this was not the first time this happened. She sent for me. My brother came and got me. And I feel safe now. I had not taken into account that this situation was a lot more drastic than other situations or previous situations. And she is a mandated reporter, and there are other children in that house in Grand Rapids, to include my sister who was pregnant at the time, my big sister Val. My foster mother had to report it. My social worker came out, and through a bunch of tears of all of us, she had to remove me from the house because I couldn't stay there. And she placed me in another foster home, and that house was a whole lot different. So in this house, I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I belong there. I was being mistreated. I was being abused. And during this time, I'm talking to both Mama Roxy and my biological mother, just filling me in on the happenings at this house and like all the things. I tried to run away several times. I would always be taken back to the house. And then this last time that I was, that something happened there, I called my mother and I was kind of just crying and just saying, I don't want to be here. I want to go back to Mama Roxy's house. This place is not safe, the whole nine. And that is when I call it the whisper campaign. That is when the whisper campaign started. My mother started to tell me these things like, Mama Roxy is the reason you in there. She the reason that you in the unsafe position. She called protective services, meaning the social worker. She didn't want you in her house. She asked him to come take you out of her house. It wasn't that you couldn't be there. She asked him to take you out your house because she didn't want you there no more. Like, she started telling me all these things. Now, mind you, I'm a person who keeps all these letters and cards and the whole nine, and they little trinkets of, pockets of love for me and the whole nine. My mother is telling me these things, and at first I'm like, that's not true. She loves me a lot. Like, I know she loved me, and I just didn't believe it. The more I would talk to her though, and the more she would tell me this, I'm a kid, and I'm starting to think like, maybe she's right. Maybe that's why I'm not at Mama's house no more, and all these things. And slowly but surely, I believed her. I started to believe her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she don't love me. She never loved me, and this and that. And so one day, just in pain and fully trusting and believing my natural mother and that she wouldn't tell me those things if it wasn't true, I took the letters that I had gotten to that point from my foster mother, which was a lot of letters. The whole time I was in Grand Rapids, she was writing me, because we didn't have internet and phones and like all this stuff back then. This is 1987. So she had wrote me a lot of letters. I went in Miss Manson's bathroom and put all those letters that Mama Roxy had written me in a trash can and set the shit on fire. I burned all of those letters because I believed in that moment that my mother was telling me the truth, and that my Mama Roxy had, on her own accord, got me out of her house because she did not want me there and that she did not love me. To this day, that bothers me. So after several runaway attempts from Miss Manson's house, they finally removed me from her house, and they put me in a group home on the west side of Detroit, on Pembroke, I think it was, called Denby Group Home. And while I was at Denby, my mother would visit, my mother would call, and I would call my mother. And over some time, I started to kind of just go back and revisit those conversations me and my mother had. And I was like, I don't know if that's true. Like, I don't know if Mama Roxy really called the people to remove me from her house. I don't know if it's true that she doesn't love me. I started to question my mother's story. And they wouldn't let my foster mother call or visit because, again, at that time, they found it to be a conflict of interest. I am not a ward of the state anymore. Now I'm in this group home. It was just so many moving parts to it, and she just couldn't visit me and couldn't call. Well, one day, somehow I got a call through to her, I think, or I wrote her a letter. I can't remember how I got in contact with her, but I did. And I told her this thing, like, you don't love me. You never loved me. You the one called Child Protective Services or called Luther, or called Lutheran Social Services and it got me removed. And I told her all these things. And she was so heartbroken. She was like, Maria, I didn't do that. I do love you. She's like, I didn't have you removed from my house. I'm a mandated reporter. I had to report the abuse that was happening in that house. There's other kids in that house. You were in that house. Eventually, you was going to have to go back. You can't, you're not a ward of the state anymore. I had to report the abuse, but I did not have you removed from my house. I absolutely do love you. And so she wrote me a letter. Thank God. She wrote me a letter. And I want to read you a bit of that letter. Now, I'm not going to read the entire letter because some of it is very personal and it just ain't y'all business. But I'm going to read bits and pieces of a couple letters. And so this is the first letter that she wrote me after the whole debacle. And this date stamp is from March 31st, I think this says, 1988 is when this is postmarked. And so I want to read a bit of the letter. She says, "Hey Maria, I don't understand why you blame me for things that happened to you. Maria, who took you back in all those times? Who sent you money or got you the things you asked for? Best I could. Who was the first to put you in school when you were 4 years old? Who do you think sent money to you and your mother up in Grand Rapids all those times? So you are mad at me. Okay. I'm glad you are, and I hope one of these days you will understand what truth is. Everyone misses you. I love you very much. Miss Jean Esco has been trying to call you." So the point she was making was, I love you. I've always loved you, and I was the one coming to get you time after time after time. This is shortly after that one. So this one says, "Hi Maria, I hope you are doing well. I got your letter Saturday. Maria, I love to hear from you. I love you so much. You are my very own. I got you when you were 3.5 years old. And to me, you were and always will be my child. But at times we have to do what we are told. I don't want to hurt you. And you know I never have and I never will hurt you in any way. In any way I can help, I will. Haven't I? You are a very smart child, all A's and B's in school. Even at home, you know how to do so many things. Sometimes I could just pinch your nose. I love you so much. Why haven't you called me? You know I can't call you. Did you like the little dress for Easter and shoes I got for you? I think they look so much like what you wanted. When you come home, we can go shopping, okay? Do you need anything? And when can I come to visit you? I miss you so much. I love you, Riri, Momo." Right back soon. This was May 2nd, 1988. "Hi, Riri. I do hope this will find you doing very well. Everyone here is doing well. I think I was the proudest foster mother at Jones School. I was so happy, and I'm always happy to see you and the rest of my children do well. Dad told me you said you can't seem to get your work in school. What's the matter, honey? You have always been smart, even when you first came to me at 3.5 years old, trying to wash dishes. Even when you would wet the bed, you would cover it up with a towel." And then she wrote "smile" in the parentheses. "I love you, Nut. You get that work done. I don't care who don't. I know you can do it. Let the other girls do their thing, but you do your thing too, okay? Yes, I know they are calling me to court. It's all right. I started to come last week, but the worker said I couldn't. Anyway, I thank you for letting me know. Maria, I don't know what happened. I gave your mom 4 stamps last week to send me the paper so I could give it to someone, so I could try and get you out of there. The person was waiting to see it so they can help you and your mother. I don't understand. I'm not trying to hurt you or her. If I had that in my mind, I never would have tried to help. I just want to see you happy. Please believe me. It's so hard doing what you don't want to do and someone always saying you can't or cannot, or someone always saying you can or cannot. I just needed that paper, that's all. Then they can call me to court, okay? Right soon. P.S. Yes, you will have the bike you want, okay? And if you don't get home in time, you will have a big birthday party. Haven't you always had one? Now here's something to save. Save it, okay? Love, Momo. These letters are so special to me. And I've got more. Not many more, but I've got more. But those are what I'll share for today because those are the ones that apply to this story. So the lie was my foster mother never loved me, or that she was the one who called Lutheran Social Services to have me removed from her house. Clearly, that's not the case. I regret burning those letters, for sure. It was a lie that was told to me that I believed. And in that moment, as a kid, I made a rash decision to do something that I just cannot undo. And I hate that that's the case. One of the last letters my foster mother sent me was probably 7 or 8 months prior to her passing. And the letters that I have remaining for the year and some change prior to her dying are very sacred to me. I hold on to them as if they were worth millions of dollars. And for me, the value is priceless. My life has always heavily depended on trust. That started from when I was a little bitty girl, first going to the foster house with my sister Val. So trust is very important to me. I allowed a lie that was told to me to impact a relationship that had been proven. She had already proven she loved me. I already believed it. I trusted her actions. I trusted the way she handled me and what she showed me. And back then, of course, I didn't know what that was. I wasn't clear about what that was. Even if, well into my adulthood, I still wasn't clear. It wasn't until 2015 when I ran across a Brene Brown video called The Anatomy of Trust. And she explained trust in this way. She calls it braving. And she explains it in this way. Trust is built up over time in small incremental moments. And she explained it through the analogy of a marble jar, where every small thing that a person does that earns trust, you put a marble in their jar. And then over time, the jar is full. And then you have this relationship that's built on trust. And that trust should start with you and then extend out to other people. In that moment, I let the lie that she told me override what I already knew to be the truth, that my foster mother loved me. My mother's fear of losing her daughter to this other woman, I believe, is what created that lie. And because I trusted my mother over trusting myself, over trusting what I believed through what my foster mother has shown me over all these years, I made a decision that I could not go back and correct. From that day in 1987 to this one, I have never allowed another person's truth to override my own. I have never been able to be swayed that way. I have never abandoned my own beliefs, my own truths, my own convictions for somebody else's, ever. So the invested alignment piece for this story, there's actually two: trust and evolution. That situation was a turning point in my evolution, in how I would grow and evolve as it relates to being swayed and people being able to tell me something and I abandon my own beliefs and my own truths for whatever that person is telling me. That is where that started for me, right there with that. I was able to look back and realize a couple of things. One, I am my own compass, right? I follow my beliefs, not somebody else's. Second, I trust me over what anybody else says, thinks, believes. I trust me. So in that situation, I trusted that my foster mother loved me. And still, I allowed somebody else's fear or jealousy or uneasiness with the situation caused me to abandon and betray myself. Now, as a kid, I had no clue. As a grown person, I'm fully aware. And then number three, I know what love feels like. And so to have somebody else convince me otherwise can never happen again. Looking back, I think my mother felt threatened by Roxy's love. I think she felt like my mama Roxy had taken me from her, certainly emotionally. I think she felt like because I spoke so highly of my mama Roxy and because we had such a great relationship and because she doted on me and I, was under her a lot because my mother would come and visit us. Here's the thing. Because we were in the foster care system, my mother was only supposed to visit us on special days at the center. Only at the center. She was not supposed to be at my foster mother's house ever. That went against all policy. But my foster mother, being the woman that she was, would invite my mother over to the house to eat dinner with us in the backyard or in the kitchen often. She was not supposed to be there. She would give her money. I would steal money from my foster mother to give to my mother when she would tell me like she didn't have money or the bills would be like about to be cut off. Like my foster mother was so damn loving and compassionate. And my mother would see how we interacted when she would come over to the house. I feel like she felt threatened by the relationship that I had with her. And I think that's why she told me the lie that she told me. And then the other part of me feels a lot of compassion for my mother because as a woman and as a mother, I think my mother just wanted me to see her that way. And not that I didn't, but certainly didn't want me to see another woman that way. And it's certainly based on the situation that we were in. We were in a foster care system because my mother had some stuff that she was dealing with. And so I think that she just wanted me to love her that way and see her that way and have that relationship with her and not with my foster mother. Now, the way she went about it, not cool. Up, to be quite honest, right? But the woman in me has compassion for the motive behind her movement. I do. I also don't think that my mother took fully into account the situation that she was in, the situation that she had us in, the fact that my foster mother was a mandated reporter, the fact that she, by staying with this man, was putting herself and her kids in danger, while my foster mother, doing her job to report the abuse, was essentially putting my mother in a situation where she was helping her to get out of an abusive relationship and protect those kids that were still in the house as she was protecting me. I know my mother didn't see it that way. I know that she didn't. Thankfully, Mama Roxy and I were able to reconnect. I apologized for, me not trusting myself and not trusting that she loved me and for burning up the letters because I did tell her. And she was able to start to come visit me at Denby. We spoke on the phone quite often. Of course, she started writing me letters again, which I love because I was able to have those letters, have some letters of hers. She would come to Denby and bring me like this duffel bag. And in the duffel bag, she would have like little trinkets for me, a couple outfits, like some laundry that she may have taken from me and went to the house to wash and bring back. And the one thing that stands out for me the most with the backpack or with the duffel bag was back then I loved Irish Spring soap. And so she would always have like Irish Spring soap in there for me and like Butterfinger candy bars. I used to love Butterfinger back then. She would just pack me like these little bags with like stuff in it. My mother would do the same. She would bring me like little stuff every time she came to Denby to see me. And so I was just really, really glad to have Mama Roxy back. I was really glad. It didn't last long though, because what she didn't tell us and what we didn't know, when I say us, I mean the kids at the house, was that she had been battling leukemia for many years. And in that last year or so, she was doing really bad. And so her health was, declining. And so she wasn't able to write and stuff like that. So I'm super grateful to have these last letters before she passed. Super, super grateful. The last letter I have from her is dated May of 1988. And she passed March 28th of 1989. She is one of my greatest heartbreaks. Her passing. And many years later, that date would be extremely significant to me. And I'll share why in another story. But her passing is one of my greatest heartbreaks, hands down. She impacted my life in a way to where I just don't know who I would be or where I would be without her being a part of my story. Just don't know and don't want to know. And as a matter of fact, I think my burning those letters is the reason I keep every letter and every card, because it all started back then. And I think that's why I keep all this stuff. I just got that realization. I'm so grateful that in that last year of her life, she did write me more letters, because although I am heartbroken, I promise you, all these years later, I am still heartbroken that I don't have those letters, because it was some beautiful letters and some beautiful sentiments of love and expressions of love and memories that we, kind of discussed in the letters. I really wish I had my letters as well that I wrote her, but I hate that I don't have those letters. But I'm so grateful to God that before she passed, we had an opportunity to talk about, my mistake, talk about my abandoning my beliefs and abandoning myself in that moment, and that she, forgave me and loved me through it, and once again exemplified kindness and compassion and just all the things that she just was naturally, and that she wrote me some more letters that I still have. Thank God that she wrote me some more letters, because I would be really, really upset with myself had I not had something of hers in her handwriting with her expressions of love to me. Yeah, I'm super, super grateful that God gave us some more time to talk through it, and more than anything, express our love to one another, and that I was able to let her know, like, I know you love me, and I know you always have. So yeah. All right. The belief and the reframe. The belief was that my foster mother, Roxy, had betrayed me, that she didn't love me, and that worst of all, I couldn't trust myself in that belief, and knowing that I had all those years that she did. So the reframe is, I trust my intuition. I trust what I believe, my beliefs. And until I trust and believe something different, and not based on what somebody else tells me to trust or believe, I trust me. All right, so actionable integration. At the end of every story, I give you what I call actionable integration. Small things that you can take action on and integrate into your life. So if this story was supportive to you, if it resonated with you, here are 3 things that you can consider. Number 1, trace the receipts. When trust is in question, look at your experience, not hearsay or even the stories that we like to tell ourselves sometimes, because sometimes we like to tell ourselves stories around things that are just not true. So trace the receipts. Number 2, own your knowing. You know what you know, what you know, what you know. Write down what you know is true, and don't betray yourself or that knowing based on what somebody else is saying to you, based on what, pain is telling you, based on what you wish it was, what you wish it could be is telling you. No, what do you know? What do you know? Own that. And then number 3, practice trusting you. Make a decision this week solely based on your discernment, not somebody else's advice or opinion, but on your discernment. This is something you can integrate and take action on this week. What does that look like for you? So there's that. Those are my seeds for today. Thank you so much for giving me your time and attention. I truly appreciate you. Until next time, continue to get invested in your alignment. Drop some seeds that'll be of support to somebody else. And you keep being a beautiful banyan.